Thank you, Reese. Executive Director Grieber, the Honorable Michael Garcia, distinguished members of the dais, ladies and gentlemen. A few weeks ago, I was with Dom Jadis from Raising Home. Dom says to me, "Did you get your speech ready for that night?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You'll be really happy. I cut it down to 1 hour and 15 minutes. And he said, "If you do 1 hour and 15 minutes, after your speech, you can meet us in the bar, because that's where we'll be." A friend of mine once told me that when you give a speech, it's very important to stand up and be seen, and sit down and be appreciated. But before I sit down, I'd like to make a few comments. First, I'd like to thank the members of the New York State Association of Chiefs of Police for according me the honor and privilege to serve as their president. The New York State Association of Chiefs of Police was organized on November 30th, 1901. It's an association made up of police chiefs, commissioners, superintendents, executives, administrators, and agents in charge. Our members are the most experienced and respected law enforcement officials in the state of New York. Our ultimate goal is to develop a more efficient and effective law enforcement and criminal justice system. The New York State Association of Chiefs of Police were directly responsible for sponsoring at least 11 legislative bills which have positively enhanced many aspects of the chief's position as well as law enforcement overall. These bills would not have been possible if it were not for the hard work and dedication of our former Executive Director, Joseph Dominelli. Our primary purpose is an educational one, to gather, disseminate, and promote useful and necessary information to the law enforcement agencies of the state of New York. As we all know, police officers face difficult challenges every day. Our jobs can be dangerous, frustrating, even tedious, but law enforcement is a tremendously rewarding career. Police officers significantly improve the quality of life for the citizens of their communities by keeping the peace despite sometimes overwhelming odds. It's important that police officers everywhere receive appropriate recognition, support, and respect for the work they do. Police officers have voluntarily chosen a profession whose very nature places them in harm's way. When officers flee from the sound of gunfire and the threat of violence, it's a police officer's duty to run towards it. As a result, each day law enforcement officers are assaulted, disabled, or killed on the job because they hold the thin line between good and evil. They serve as society's barrier protecting honest citizens from violent criminals. My predecessor, Chief Perkins, like each and every one of us, is deeply concerned with officer safety issues. During my term as president of this organization, I would like to continue in that venue and also pursue the training needed for all our officers in the state of New York who will ever become involved in confrontational situations involving plainclothes officers. I believe this to be an issue of paramount importance. It really came to light in Westchester County this year with the tragic shooting of an off-duty police officer from Mount Vernon. Hopefully, if we work diligently together on this, we can significantly reduce or virtually eliminate situations like the tragic events that occurred in White Plains. I plan to work hard for this association and the law enforcement community, and hopefully we can make a difference for this wonderful profession of which we are a part. As promised, I will be brief, but I must acknowledge a few people who supported me for many years. First, the members of the Westchester County Association of Chiefs of Police. Their executive director of that organization, Chief Joe Del Bianco, has been a great friend for many years, and I would like to thank him for all that he has done for me and the Westchester Chiefs. During my tenure as Chief of Police, I have always had the support of my town board. I would like to thank them tonight. Supervisor Reese Berman and Deputy Supervisor Becky Kirich. The job of police chief is a difficult one, as you all know, but mine has made a lot easier with the key people that are working with me. I'd like to acknowledge two of my lieutenants Lieutenant Bill Fisher, and Lieutenant Peter Simonson. My department first became accredited in December of 2000, and that would not have been possible if it was not for the hard work of one of my police officers, Officer David Lander. I'd like to thank all three of you for all that you have done for the police department and the town of North Castle. Through my career, my family has always been there supporting me, and I'd like to thank them tonight. My mother, Helen, my brother, Alan, his wife, Barbara, my son, Robert, my daughter, Kimberly, my daughter, Julie, and her husband, Mike, and the newest member of our family, John Carlo, and also my nephew, Matthew. Also here tonight is my cousin, Patty, and her husband, Bill McClure. Bill is a retired sergeant from my job, where he retired after 20 years of service. After his retirement, he served on the North Castle Town Board for 20 years. While he was on the town board, he was a good friend of my department, and he represented the citizens of the town with dignity. I guess if I don't mention one other person, I'll probably get in trouble tonight. My wife, Claire, she has been with me for 31 years and has always been there for me. In conclusion, I feel this will be a very productive and challenging year for our organization. I plan to do the best job possible for the law enforcement community and the New York State Association of Chiefs of Police. I thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.
To commemorate the start of Bob's tenure as president, we have a plaque that I want to present to him. But first, I just want to make a couple comments. I don't think anyone can do a better job of describing what type of leader you are than the great job that Mayor Berman did just a few minutes ago. Mayor, that was a very nice tribute. Thank you. But just a couple observations. First of all, Bob D'Angelo could write a book on how a police chief can build a very constructive and positive relationship with his elected leaders, and he really sets an example for the rest of us. And the second thing is that under Bob's leadership, the North Castle Police Department has become a perfect example of the value that a local police department can add to a community through all the services that they provide to the members of that community. Bob, on behalf of all of us, I want to give you this plaque. I look forward to working with you this year, and congratulations.
Thank you, Bob.